Deal with it or find a new job. Easier than you think, bub. As a young adult, I decided to move several hundred miles away on a whim without a new job lined up. Fortunately, the relatives I was living with knew a ton of people in the small town and were able to get me a job within a week at the local grocery store. I was to be a courtesy clerk, bagging groceries and stocking shelves. Immediately, I made friends with coworkers and some of the customers weren't too bad either. However, management was a different deal. Like the HR manager who would waste a customer's time telling them recipes for the items they have and holding up the line. She would also call me from the back of the store to bag 2 items and help the man barely older than me to his car. Despite him protesting, there was also John, the general manager. John would be nice in groups, but if he got you alone, his true colors would show. He once berated me for having a 5:00 clock shadow even though I shaved right before work. My hair is dark, grows quickly. Sorry, dude. Can't help nature. After a few months, the night janitor, technically early morning, quit. John decided it would now be my job to polish the floors every morning. My previous job was at a movie theater, so working from 5 p.m. to 2 a.m. was normal. Mornings? Not my jam. This would require me to be at work by 4 a.m. But I was told this would be for 12 months tops. I was even thrown a sweet 5-cent raise for my troubles. How could I decline? After a month I asked John how the search for a replacement is going. He says probably 2 weeks and everything will be settled. After month 2 I ask again. John says the first person fell through and suggests that maybe I know someone who might be looking for a job. I assure him that is not the case. After the 3rd month, I was completely over it. Again, I approached John and explained that I cannot keep doing this much longer. He replies, "Not my problem. Find someone else or a new job." This pissed me off, but I wasn't in the position to walk out right then. I figured I'd start applying anywhere I could. A couple of days later, possibly even the same day, my relative drags me with them to go look at new cars. While discussing prices and waiting for the sales manager to respond, my relative and the salesperson were just BSing and I mentioned what John had told me about the job. The salesperson raised an eyebrow and walked away. Moments later the sales manager approached and said they were looking for a detailer and asked if I was interested. It would be a regular schedule, no evenings, and higher than even my previous theater job as a manager. While my relative was signing financing paperwork, I was filling out a new hire packet. I was to begin work on Tuesday of the next week. When I got home, I packed a bag and began driving to my hometown to visit friends. I knew I wouldn't have to work for about a week, because at midnight I called the grocery store and told them I would not be returning to work. If you have any questions, please ask John. Epilogue. A year or so after my departure, John was mysteriously no longer working at the store. Nobody knew why, as he had another 5 years before retirement. One day I had to go to the bank to deposit a check and John was the teller. It was so fun to watch him deposit my paycheck from my new employer. Not my problem, says the person whose problem it absolutely was. Well done. Yeah, never tell someone that the item in question that is your literal job is not your problem. It will never end well. Not sure why people don't think it's malicious compliance. John told him to find a new job and he did. I once had my previous bully take my order at Burger King. That was satisfying. Your mistake was doing a good job polishing the floor. Agreed 100%. The ending where he had to deposit your paycheck was the icing on the cake. Nicely done. Interesting close. It was Publix, wasn't it? FK John. Damn. John has some skills. Round here, you need relevant college courses to be employed as a teller. I was inspecting a Wendy's one time as a local health inspector. Happened to look up when I got to the customer counter and there was a former boss waiting in line. The kicker? He'd just gotten out of the slammer after several years for a well-publicized fraud case where he'd taken money from many people to build swimming pools and, oops, forgot to build them. He was also a real prick the college summer that I worked for him. Made my day, remembering that whole thing. Good story, but I'm not sold on it being malicious compliance. Quitting isn't malicious compliance, it's just quitting.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.